Good morning, everyone. My name is Jake Rebuttal. I'm anchoring for you on Ratchet TV, RTV. We have a few reports today. I'm going to let my reporter, Dashiki Brown Taylor Lavian, report for you. Dashiki?
And good morning, Mr. President. As you all are aware, Fidel Castro and the Cuban Missile Crisis have become the U.S. top priority to prevent, such as the domino theory. What do you have to say about that, Mr. President?
Good morning. Yes, I have been made aware that the troubles we are having with Fidel Castro and the domino theory. As president, I have to make sure that unlike the falling domino theory, we're preventing communism from spreading. If we don't do such things, Cuban Missile Crisis will continue to happen.
Well, not to cut you off, but Fidel Castro is actually here with us. We have a few questions for the both of you on recent events. And now welcome Fidel Castro and John F. Kennedy.
Buenos dias. Thank you for allowing me to discuss this with you. Kennedy, do you have any preguntas, questions?
I would actually like to discuss your role in the Cuban Missile Crisis and the revolution. How did it affect our relationship?
Communism is a way of life. The revolution and the missile crisis were both ways to increase my rule and the spread of communism around the world.
So by storing and building missiles from the Soviet Union, you were pulling a whole nation at risk?
Si, senor. The revolution we had in the 1950s gave us the strength to later on allow Soviet Union missiles. I made it my business to create a better Cuba. And you, the U.S. stood in the way, obviously. Have you not realized I was elected? Have you not? I removed Batista, but you kept trying to kill me.
You defied all rules against the spread of communism. Why should we not assassinate you?
You are not the ruler of Cuba, nor are you in control of the rest of the world. Why do you try to be in control of what you're not head of?
How could you say something like that?
Although I appreciate your discussion, we are running low on time. So if you could say your closing statements, that would be lovely.
Thank you for having me.
Gracias. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. I have been told that we have video clips from Cuban citizens, and they will be discussing sanctions and the people and how everything was during the Cuban Missile Crisis.
As Cuba enters the fifth year of Fidel Castro's rule, that island nation is a land of uncertainty and quiet desperation. The waterfront is crowded with crated Russian farm equipment, symbolic of the ties between the two countries. These pictures were made by an American cameraman on assignment from Universal Newsreel and are by no means to be considered a comprehensive record. He was allowed to photograph only what authorities felt would reflect honor on Cuba. They wanted him to focus only on what propaganda pamphlets glorified. Silent factories don't reflect the claimed prosperity, and automobile traffic is but a fraction of what it once was. Government vehicles are plentiful. Castro's regime aims to indoctrinate the young in the ways of communism. Sneaker-clad children, shoes are disappearing, are taught Russian as part of their regular classes. Social life in Havana, once a noisy, effervescent tradition, is now subdued. Military uniforms on teenagers are a sign of the times. Regimentation casts a dark shadow in the night. The militia guards department stores from saboteurs, and the goods displayed are but a token of consumer goods that don't exist. Communism has not bred prosperity for the masses in Castro's Cuba. Cuba's economy is having a hard time keeping afloat, but ransom goods from the United States, mainly drugs and essential foods for invalids and babies, help alleviate some misery. The freighter Shirley Lights unloads 7,000 tons of such goods in Havana, another installment on the $53 million paid for the release of Cuban war prisoners. to return to the United States with an even more precious cargo, more than 1,000 relatives of those war prisoners who have been granted refuge in the U.S. They too pay a heavy price. Before they can leave, they have to surrender homes, cars, and jewelry. Castro allows them to take only a change of clothing as they bid their homeland farewell. 14 of the refugees are stretcher cases, but they let nothing stay their flight. They face a rough trip to Florida. The ship is riding high in the water, but freedom is worth the price. They were unable to stay on deck to bid their homeland farewell. Authorities feared that there would be dangerous overcrowding at the rails. It is a scene of quiet courage. People who face an uncertain future, sure of but one thing, freedom. Sweet Land of Liberty is a welcome sight to the refugees who spent a dozen uncomfortable hours as the freighter battled 8-foot waves. Many have waited for years for just this moment. Their landing in Port Everglades is fraught with emotion. The end of a latter-day saga, the beginning of a new one. The refugees brought with them tales of terror, stories that gushed forth now that they had arrived in the land of free speech. Stories of life in their homeland, a homeland they have renounced until freedom lives there once again.
Thank you, Brianna. Lastly, we have a Cuban exile. Rosa Marina, would you like to discuss this topic?
I would like to discuss the Bay of Pigs. It was a harsh time, but it was so ruthlessly practiced and became dictator. The CIA later launched a definitive strike and tried to capture Castro. They were not successful, and Castro sadly.
Thank you. That's it for Ratchet TV.
Thank you, Ratchet Reporter. That's all we have today on Ratchet TV. See you later. Is this thing off?
Ariana was here, right?
Are you turning?
Communism spreading and
Now welcome him. Not Candy.
how did it affect our relationship? So by storing and building missiles,
I'm not done yet. The spread of communism around the world. Take that over.
you defy all rules against the spread of communism. They should not have to.
Wait, stop writing.
Oh wait, sorry, I'm sorry. When I say like how could I mean
You got it on
I
pause?
don't hear nothing. Oh. By deploying his army.
We have a Cuban exile. How are you, Rosa Moreno? Do you have anything you'd like to discuss?
Fine. Yes. I would like to discuss the Bay of Pigs. It was a harsh time. Fidel so roughly overthrew Batista and became dictator. The CIA later launched a definitive strike and tried to capture
Lastly, we have a Cuban exile. Rosa Morena, how would you like to discuss this topic? Do you have anything to say?
Yes. I would like to discuss the Bay of Pigs. It was a hard